All right, Monica and I trained legs, focused quads and calves. We did a first warm-up set of leg extensions with the resistance in the circuit room just because the other leg extension machines were taken. But again, still sitting back pretty far on this. You see Monica leaning back here and really just focusing on the contraction of the legs. This machine kind of doesn't have enough weight for both of us to max out, which is why we didn't stay there, but just got a nice little warm up here. And then we went right from those leg extensions over to some close step walking lunges here. These I've just started implementing now that I'm on this new leg program. Really a good quad burner. Sitting back and really driving as much as I can through my quads. We supersetted those with a standing step back lunge. You can add weight to these, but here I was really just focusing on core contraction and keeping those quads engaged through the entire movement. And then things finally freed up downstairs, so we went down, got into our squats, did sets of 20, 15, 15, 12, and 10. Here you see Monica with a close stance. Feet are parallel, facing forward. She does a really good job of keeping and controlling her depth and controlling that bar speed there as she does these motions. All right, and I know I said we did about 10 reps for our last set. Here I got about 6 out of this one, 365. I'm focusing a little bit heavier until about 8 weeks out. Here I'm 10 weeks out from my first classic physique show, but again, we're still moving heavy weight and trying to get as much growth out of these legs while we can. And so next we went over to the hack squat machine. You're gonna see Monica here with her feet close together, toes turned out and up on her tippy toes. Reason being, she's keeping her calves engaged and the quads are staying engaged through this whole movement. You see she's not locking her knees out at the top, which is really firing those quads up. And here you'll see me with the same foot placement, again working on getting those deep sweeps in those quads. So you'll see my toes turned out as well and really working on that outer quad, keeping the whole thing engaged as I'm going through this movement. Up on the tippy toes, calves are active and really working on building here. And somehow I managed to mess up the recording. Miss Monica doing her seated calf raises, but here you're gonna see her doing the second half of that superset, doing the squatting calf raises, keeping those calves active the entire time. And when you're doing these, you really wanna make sure your calves are getting a good stretch at the bottom. Here you'll see me doing those seated calf raises. Like I said, we supersetted these with those squatting calf raises. Here I'm really just working on overall peak contraction, and at the bottom as much flexion as possible. My calves are toast by this point, and here really just working on engaging. You see I'm on my tippy toes the entire time. I push the heels down to get as big of a stretch as possible, and then at the top just working on that peak contraction again, like I said. And you saw us doing those leg extensions at the beginning to warm up. This one finally freed up here, so we figured we'd do a burnout at the very end, keeping the weight kind of light and just firing through these reps, some slower than others, some squeezing more at the top than others, just getting as much out of these quads as possible. Wasn't counting for reps. Like I said, just firing through. Here you see me turn my knees out just slightly, again engaging some target areas as I really get that mind-muscle connection. And here as Monica's doing these, she does a really good job of getting that good squeeze at the top. Try to focus on keeping our hips down. But again, at this point, we are fatigued and just about done. This exercise here, as you're doing this one as a burnout, you got to make sure you're getting as many reps as possible. Once you set it down, do 5 more because you got it in you. And if your quads weren't fried by this point, try these sissy squats. Here you see I'm going to be up with my heels on the dumbbell and squatting down, pushing my knees down and out. The reason I'm doing that is keeping as much contraction on the quads and tension on the quads as possible, keeping other muscles out of the movement. And you'll see Monica here, she was wanting to focus on the specific area of the under half of her glute, and so we figured we'd throw these in at the very end. She did these standing up on 2 boxes just because of the height difference with her kettlebell that she's using and her overall height. She needs a little bit more room to stretch and get the full stretch at the bottom, so we did that variation. Here you're going to see her also supersetting that straight leg deadlift with a goblet squat, and the reason being is because we're just looking to activate that lower glute and hamstring as much as possible and really get that nice shape and separation there. If you watched all the way through, I really appreciate you guys watching. Let me know if there's any other content questions. Leave it in the comment section. Give this video a like, share it with a friend that could use these tips. And again, thank you guys for the support.